Hello everybody. So for today we're going to work with different ways of distressing with household items, and I put a bunch of different ones in different cups over here. I do have a few other ideas, but for right now we're just going to use like stuff you might have laying around. I'm not sure, but you may. So this one is acrylic paint, and we're just going to use it and see if it distresses any of these. Just black acrylic paint, watered down, of course. So I'm going to be making a bunch of backgrounds, I guess, at the moment. But also, I'm going to do this with some other pieces I have, like paper, just see how it works. It does distress it a little bit, but yeah. Again, so that's black for right now. Next one is going to be soy sauce. Let's see how different soy sauce will be compared to the black. And again, I did water down most of this just to see how this would react. And I know people are from different countries, so I want to make sure all of us tries different things and experiments a little bit. It gives it a light look here so far. And I'm just using a paintbrush right now to do this. I'm not really doing anything in particular. Again, it's just to experiment a little with the different pieces. So definitely way different, the black compared to the soy. But again, that's the whole point right now, is for us to try new things and see what may work and what may not work. Distressing. Okay. Now, our third one is going to be red wine, which definitely is going to give a more reddish look, of course, to it, but let's see. I did water down most of it, so I don't think I watered down this red wine, though, at all. Again, this is more a trial and error, see what will happen, see how our pieces will look. This is what I got so far. They definitely look way different from each other, so let them dry, and while they're drying, we'll just keep on going with more pieces. And this is an old R.L. Stein book that I'm using currently. Now this is Espresso, and I didn't do the norm of cooking or heating it up first, so I don't know how well this is going to work. seems like there's a lot of clumps in it. But again, I'm just trying to do some new things, see what happens. Because I was asked by Robin this past week if there's a way of distressing without the distress inks. And that's where I think something like this, a sponge of some sort, you put it on something or another and use it with whatever look you want it to look like, you know, the acrylic paint or whatever. Use a sponge instead of a paintbrush. This one is wood stain. This one I'm actually going to do it this way because I should wait until last to do it, but that's okay. You can obviously see with wood stain it gets everywhere. Doesn't work well with water and all that, so it's definitely a dark stain here. Now this one is black food coloring, and I tried to make it darker colors and not like colors that are very bright. Just again, I was trying to use colors that would show off things or the stuff that we're looking at. So far I don't recommend the wood stain. I know it looks good, but it's very difficult to handle, and it ain't really working well with my white or with water. So just a heads up. Last one is instant coffee. And again, I was trying to go for stuff that would be easy, accessible. I know you can get it if you're on food stamps, get stuff like this, instant coffee and stuff like that. But again, I just wanted you to be able to see what happens when you use the different things. So there's the instant coffee. All right. Now I'm going to pull up all the different ones. Food coloring, stain, espresso not heated, red wine, food coloring, and soy sauce. Now they each have their own, it looks like, individual looks, but again, I liked, oh, this wasn't food coloring, this was the acrylic paint. I personally like using the red wine. I think it makes it look gorgeous too, and I'm actually surprised how the soy sauce looks. Kind of gives it that coffee stain look. And the food coloring I like too. I like the factor that it shows through different colors, not necessarily just the black, because black is basically dark red and blues and stuff. But this is what they end up looking like. So hopefully this helps you decide a little better, Robin, on what you can maybe use to distress. I just want to do a quick show and tell of with the instant coffee, I think is what I'll use. So we're going to just dip it into the sponge here and see if this helps or works. It's a little wet, so whatever you're distressing you don't want, obviously. If you glue stuff on, it might be a little bit more difficult to distress, but if you take a sponge you should be able to easily distress around the edges, you know, like you would distress ink. That's another thing here. I'm just trying to think of other ways we can distress without using distress ink. Oh, this was another one. A bingo dabber thing. It does have ink in it and that type of thing, and it has this like dabber thing. So I'm just thinking, get that dabbed up a little bit here and just take it around the edge. So yeah, you could just easily use a bingo dabber and use that as a way to distress. Because again, it allows you to, basically the same thing as a distress ink, except way cheaper. So that was just a bingo dabber. And I know that's something interesting to use because my kids, that's again something my kids use and stuff. So another one I was thinking might work too. Not sure how well, but yeah. So this is a little bit of eyeshadow and I'm just rubbing it up against the edge here to distress. So I'm using dark brown eyeshadow and just rubbing it up against the edge here. So that gives it another distressed look without having distress ink, because I normally only use my makeup for creating, and these are just cheap LA colors from the dollar store. Now let's try marker. I'm going to try choosing, I'll choose a bright color here instead of brown, just to see if it works or not. Yeah, if you just rub it against there, this ain't a very thick marker, so it ain't going to show too much. But enough if you can see, it is doing that, allowing me to distress it. And that's just regular old washable marker. But because I don't have a thick marker and I only have a thin, my thin markers, that's what it ends up looking like. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we could use. Well, you could also use watercolor, but I'm not bringing out my watercolors at the moment. Ooh, how about this? I use my metallic markers quick. Here. I just want to see if it works on more than just washable marker. And if I use a thicker one, if it'll show up more. Yeah. Does show up. And you just rub it up against here like this, the edge, your marker, and it looks distressed. So, yeah, my metallic markers work pretty good with that too. Who knew? And that was this Morphone metallic marker pen. And I got this off of Amazon. So that is many ways, over 10 ways of going off and being able to use something other than distress ink. Now, also, this is something my kids love to do. Personally, it depends on the day of the week, but if you take a toothbrush on some of these things and you want to make droplets or a distressed look on something, that's another way of doing it. Or if you don't have a paintbrush, I just take a toothbrush that I think we'll never use and use a toothbrush instead of paint. So again, it's just another way. So I hope you enjoyed this video of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different ways of distressing, or different things you could use to distress. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day or night. Bye.